To make my Miata a little bit more compliant on the street, I went out and bought some really nice coilovers. These are RoadsterSport ClubSport coilovers. They have a street and a track version. I ended up getting the street, which has a slightly less stiff spring rate. And this is actually a very cool coilover. It uses a couple different things. It uses Koni shocks as well as Progress springs, and then you retain the factory top hat. And that is why I think this is going to ride so much better. Specifically in the rear, I hit the bump stops all the time with these Meisters. You might have also heard right there, I think I actually bottom out the rear. And it's because this has like basically 8 inches of extra travel. I mean, that just adds so much compliance. And that's kind of the whole point of these coilovers. They kind of name them the long travel coilovers because yeah, they're massive. The front as well retains the stock top hats. So I actually bought a stock set of top hats, both front and rear. It wasn't, you know, the cheapest thing in the world, but it does come with poly bushings on top and on bottom. So, you know, it makes it a little bit nice in that case. But yeah, if you have your stock ones, you can just reuse them. You know, if you have more of a track car, you do want that higher spring rate, which these are not able to provide. They are definitely more of a street coilover. That's where the Meisters and, you know, shocks like that, you know, coilovers like that, they come into their own because if you have like 17x10 wheels with really sticky tires and a soft suspension, it's not going to work out that well on track. But for me, I got my little 17x8 wheels. You know, I have 200 treadwear tires, but like just barely. This is great for me. All in all, these are definitely the most expensive coilovers I've ever bought, but I'm gonna have this car for a while and I think it's really going to make me want to drive it as much as possible because it's going to ride hopefully better. We'll see. Before we get started installing the coilovers, I'm going to show you how to assemble them because they actually do not come assembled. You have to do that yourself. Okay, so let's start assembling the rear setup. You can tell the rear shock because the fronts have a fork. The rears have more of just a bolt hole. It helps to have a vice grip. We'll just start really simple. I kind of got the hang of this after doing the other one. There's one trick in here as well that kind of helps out. We'll start with the plastic ring. Throw that on. Can bend it back. All right, now we take our spring. They have a sticker, rear. We can then take our boot, and it's kind of an important note. On the boot, there's a little indentation right there. This indentation is meant to go right there on the top hat. Sorry, just kidding. I forgot we need our washer. They supply these. I'm just going this end down. Then we have our poly bushings. This is an optional kit that I got. So it has a little notch on top, a little dimple, I guess. Make sure that's pointing upwards, and then you use your metal sleeve. Throw it right in there. Take your top hat with your rubber boot. Slide that on top. Now we have another bushing and a washer. I've been putting this edge down, so it's a little bit less, I guess a little bit more of a harsh angle for the taper. That fits a little bit better. And then we use our washer. Now here is where the tip comes in. I read Goodwin Racing on a comment on a slip angle video. This is where I actually saw these coilovers. And their comment was to lower the collars so that you're essentially dropping it down and you can reach the threads on top easier without having to compress the spring a bunch. You can see the threads are already poking out a little bit more. We'll keep going. All right, so now that we have the threads exposed, we can use our washer. They actually give us 2 nuts. So we thread on one first, then we try to torque it down, or attempt to, and then we use the other one. The reason why I say attempt to is because you have to use a 9mm to hold the shock itself in position while you tighten it down, because it'll just keep spinning otherwise. That's not good for the shock health. So what I do for the bottom one is I take some sort of thing to hold the 9mm on top to keep the shock in position, I just get a ratcheting wrench and kind of just go to town. There might be a better way to do this. I haven't found a way to get an actual torque wrench on a shock before, so I just snug it down as much as I can. I believe it's 34 foot-pounds. All right, that's nice and tight. This second one is 15, and I can actually get a torque wrench on this one by using a very skinny 19mm wrench. There we go, 15 foot-pounds. They do provide you with a little key that you can use to change the damping setting. Eventually, they say to take it from full soft, which is what they come as, and just click it in once, because you never want to be full soft or full stiff. Apparently, it's very bad for the shock. So before we drive it, I'll just click it on each corner and then head out. The last thing that we need to do is set the collars where we need them. For the rear, they recommend 1.5 inches from the bottom collar to the bottom of the threads. So we'll just spin it up until we get 1.5 inches and then lock these two collars down. You might also have to hold the shock on top. Okay, we have hit 1.5 inches. Now we can lock these two collars together. And that is our starting position for ride height. So let's assemble the front coilover assembly. Overall, it's really similar to the rear. We're gonna start with the plastic clip that goes in the bottom. Good. Next, washer. Then you take the poly bushing with the little dimple that faces upwards, throw that in, throw the metal sleeve in there. We'll take our front spring, slide this guy on like so. Next, we've got our boot. We'll just throw this in here. And this is where that tip comes in handy again. You can see like the threads are just barely sticking out, and we'd really have to compress that spring to get it all on. We're just gonna work a little bit smarter and twirl this here down. And there we go. The threads are all exposed. Should be a lot easier. The previous owner did not have the paper gasket, so I ended up just cutting one out of the plastic bag. It should help reduce the amount of contact between, metal on metal. It's a little bit ghetto, but it works. We'll take our second bushing, and then we'll get a couple threads on. We'll just torque it same exact way as before. We'll spin this back up. It specifies 1.5 inches for the front shocks as a starting point, so we'll just spin that on up once the top is torqued down. For the rear, it's pretty easy to remove. You do have to take off the paneling for the trunk, which honestly is pretty easy. It's just a lot of pop clips, no big deal. In there is the stock coilover. There are 2 bolts or nuts that hold it on. I've already loosened them up. Back here, you do have to disconnect the rear sway bar to get yourself enough room to kind of work with stuff and drop things down. Looking up, there is one more bolt that goes from underneath, pretty easy to get access to. And apart from that, you just have one 17mm bolt that holds it on. Luckily, it actually doesn't fly off. There's a sleeve that holds the coilover on. So that's really nice by Mazda. Break the 17mm underneath loose. These are on pretty tight, so definitely get a pretty long bar. And because it has a sleeve, there's actually no tension on the bolt itself, so it slides in and out really easily once you get it started. All right, bolt is out. From here, should be able to just kind of slide it out. It is going to be a little bit violent. I might drop down on you. Oh, I am stupid. I forgot the upper bolt. I am stupid.
I am stupid.
There we go. The whole thing will drop down. Just kind of got to shimmy it on out of there. The coilover is installed. I did not have to loosen either of the arms. I'm not sure if that's the best way to do it, but that's the way that I did it. You kind of just shoot the gap go past, especially past this bracket, way past there, and then try to basically spin it. Honestly, not horrible. Definitely a little bit of finagling, but you know, whatever, it's in. So on the rear, I wanted to show you guys something. It is very important for any coilover install, but especially on the NC. These bushings up here, if you do loosen them or remove these arms to free up the coilover, again, I didn't do that, but if you did loosen them, when you tighten them back up and torque them, there has to be load on the car, on the side that you're working on. So I simply have a jack underneath the knuckle right there, and I'm just going to jack it up until I see it lift off of the jack stand. So we would just keep going up. And I actually loosen these bushings just to show you guys how to do it, as well as double check that they are torqued properly. All right, I see the corner lifting up. From there, now we're going to torque the bushings. I'm doing about 60 for the control arm bushings and 50 for the lower shock bolts. It was a little bit tough to find exact specs, but I think that's pretty spot on. All right, that's 2. Now I'll just do that lower shock bolt and then attach the sway bar and we're good. There we go. So I was just messing around, figuring out the front suspension before I start filming. I was able to pull it out and I remembered something about cars. Typically there's plastic between the top hat and the chassis. In this case, there's not because the previous owner did not reuse the OEM gasket between the two. So to fix that, I ended up straight up cutting out of some of the plastic and I made my own gasket. It's not a massive deal to not use this, but it prevents moisture and I think it prevents some noise as well from the metal on metal contact. So I'm gonna throw this on. Unfortunately, I forgot to do that for the rear and I already buttoned everything up. So honestly, I'm just gonna leave the rear without the gasket between the two. I don't wanna uninstall that and reinstall it again. It really does go to show why the fronts, I never really had a lot of issues with them bottoming out, but the rears I did. When you compare the fronts between, you know, the Meisters and the ClubSports, it is very similar, but the rear, it's an entire different story. So I think that just makes sense why I always had issues bottoming out the rear, but not the front. So to remove the front coilovers, it's not too bad. You do have to take out the engine brace, unfortunately, and mess around in the sound tube as well, but all that's taken care of. In here, you have to remove this bolt, that bolt. That's to basically free up this enough to where you can, you know, manipulate the shock assembly. Of course, take off the sway bar. You're also going to remove this bolt that's holding in the coilover. And there's a few brackets that you need to take care of. One right here, one back there. I also took off this guy and then one final right down there. Shouldn't be too difficult. I already did the other side. I actually think it's a little bit easier than the rear. So, it has been a few weeks. Of course I messed it up after a pull. It's been a couple weeks since I have last filmed clips of this car. I've dialed in the ride height. I've got it exactly where I want it to be now. I cannot stress enough how much I love these coilovers. The Meister club races that I had previously were not necessarily bad, but they were very uncomfortable on the street. They were definitely more of a track-oriented coilover. These are absolutely fantastic on the street. And the funny thing is, I really don't feel like they're sacrificing much in terms of performance. The car still feels very, very planted through corners, and you know, I just don't really think that there was much of a loss in terms of like cornering ability. I've driven, you know, the tripometer is incorrect, but I've driven probably about 200 miles on this suspension, and it really does, it handles really well. But the difference is, like, for bumps, there's so much more compliance on the setup. It's fantastic. I take this to work, which is about like a 35-minute drive, and it's not great roads. And sure, it's firm, but I really do feel so at ease driving this car. Whereas before, I had to dodge every single nook and cranny. Now it's like, sure, if I hit something, it's fine. It'll take it no matter what. It's good. Really, really direct. I mean, it just genuinely feels very good. Still has exceptional steering feel. I mean, it really does kind of just rip, honestly. We're just behind people. Again, these are fantastic. I really cannot recommend them enough. One of the biggest changes is that in the rear, the compliance with that added travel, I genuinely notice it compared to a shorter aftermarket coilover. I genuinely notice it. I used to bottom out the Meisters. There's a clip at the front of the video. I bottom them out all the time. Haven't gotten anywhere close to any sort of feeling of bottoming out these RoadsterSport coilovers. My alignment is a little bit unknown at the moment. It actually drives really straight, funny enough, but I am going to get an alignment. I'm going to do a whole video on aligning this car, as well as dialing in some of the handling characteristics, as well as new wheels and tires. So that'll be coming eventually. I love this car so much now. I'm not kidding when I say, like, my attitude about this car has now changed. It is a really pretty comfortable car, and it's incredibly fun on the street. I mean, this is definitely like the most sharp car I've owned ever. It's sharper than my NB by far, way sharper than my 370Z and Civic Si. This thing is just like a complete blast to drive. And that's the thing, just because you have longer travel and, you know, softer spring rates doesn't mean that it's not like a really capable car. This thing rips. These springs are 3 times stiffer than the stock springs. If you get the track spring rate that they offer, it's 4 times. Yeah, honestly, I'm really impressed with it so far. I think I'm going to love how this drives on the track as well. I'm pumped. I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for all the support on the NC videos. I've really been enjoying them. Look at how happy it is. Just come on. Look at this guy.